Now I want to show you guys truth tables with 3 statements, P, Q, R. And to make this more interesting, I will also show you guys how to distribute things like this. Have a look. Here we have P and parentheses Q or R. Notice this is an and, this is an or. They are of course different. If they are the same symbol, if they are both and, then it doesn't matter how you pair them up. If they are both or, again, it doesn't really matter how you pair them up. But if they are different, how exactly do you change the order if necessary? Well, let's have a look. It's kind of like how you distribute this thing. And I'll tell you, this right here is logically equivalent to the following. You are just going to take this, distribute to the first one, which is P and Q, and you put parentheses. And then you maintain this symbol right here, so that's or. And then you take this again, distribute to that. So we have P and R, just like this. So it depends on how you want to look at it. From left to right, it's kind of like how you distribute the and symbol if the inside is a or, and then you can get this. If you look at from the right to left, it's kind of like you can factor out the P, right? If this and that are the same thing. So same, yeah. And I will also show you guys another version if this is an or and this is an and, but let's do that later. Right here, I would like to verify that they are logically equivalent, and to do so, we will have to set up a truth table. And then, of course, because now we have 3 statements, P, Q, R, we need a total of 8 rows from here, right? Because 2 to the third power. So P, Q, R, and let's cut it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. Okay, and this is how I like to do it. Because we need a total of 8 rows here, right? Just first start with 4 true, and then 4 false. And then for this column, just put down 2 truths and then 2 false, and then just continue with this pattern. And then for this, just put down true, false, alternating, like TF, TF, like this. And then here we go. On the left-hand side, remember, always do things inside out. So we should be looking at Q or R. So we're looking at this two, and it's a or statement. So as long as one of them is false, then the whole thing is, well, actually, if it's or, well, both of them are false, then this right here will be false, and then false. As long as one of them is true, then the whole thing is true. So only these 2 are false, and the rest are true. So true, 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 and then true, true, true. Now we will do P and this thing. So let me write down P and Q or R. Okay, so I'm looking at this and that. And this time we need both of them to be true in order to be true. True, 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 true. And if you look here, the third one is also true, true. But the rest, they all have at least one F. So it's just true, 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 and then just OF at the end. Now let's look at the right-hand side. First, I need a P and Q. So it's just going to be these 2 columns, and it's an AND statement. So I need both of them to be true in order to be true. And then that's it, because at least one F for the rest, so just put on OF. And here we have P and R. So we're looking at this and that. So we have true, true, and that's it. And actually here, true, true. So only the first one and the third one are true, and the rest are false. Yeah, because this is true, false, so the rest are false. All right, finally, we just have to have that. So P and Q or P and R. So now look at this. As long as one of them is true, then the whole thing is true. But you look at this right here, they're all false. Only the first three will give you true, and then the rest are all false. And ladies and gentlemen, the first three are true, which matches with that, and then the rest are all false, which is the same thing as this. So this is logically equivalent to that. So that's how you distribute the n in this manner, like this. Now, what if we have different symbol? If this is a word and this is an n? Well, I'll show you guys that real quick. So let's say this right here is number 1, then number 2 would be if we have p and this is or, and then the inside here is and, like this. Then I will tell you, you can pretty much do the same thing I told you. Take this, distribute with the first one, so it's P or Q, and you put that in your parentheses, and then you maintain this right here. And then you do the same thing. This, distribute to that, so it's P and R. Yeah, so similar things. And perhaps I'll also just write this down. If we have P and Q and R, really there's nothing that you have to distribute if they are both the same thing. But I will just tell you this is the same as saying P and Q and R. Usually people will just show you how you can do this two first instead of this two first. If you try to do the thing that we did earlier, then it becomes P and Q and P and R. But this is just an extra n, right? Because you are saying P and Q and P and R. The P is just extra, it's redundant. So you don't really need to worry about it. And then number 4, if you have O and, if you have O or, then again, this is the same as saying you do P or Q first and then do or R. Yeah. These two are trickier, I'll say. Yep, that's it.